Okay. Hi, Devansh. Hi, Aryan.
Hello.
Thanks for joining me.
Yeah.
As I told you before, we are doing a series of interviews with Tezos India fellows because we had a great fellowship. You guys did really well, and now we want to know what are you guys doing right now? What are the projects that you're involved in? How Tezos India helped you in growing more, learning more about Tezos, getting involved into the Tezos ecosystem, and what opportunities did it bring to you? Right. So I personally, I know, what you guys are doing, and I know you guys are doing all really well in your professional career. And also, when it comes to Tezos, you are also very pretty actively engaged in the Tezos. But I want you guys to share your stories, your experience with, people who might be watching this, to share with the community, to share with the students or developers
Mhm.
who are going to be part of our future programs such as hackathon, Theos India Fellowship 2.0, or any other program worldwide or organized by any other Theos global team, right?
Hmm.
Okay, cool. So let's start with a brief introduction.
Hmm.
I would like if you can just you guys feel free to take any of the question you want, and
Hmm.
feel free to whichever things you can answer the best.
Hmm.
Feel free to go ahead. So please, let's start with a brief introduction.
Yeah, I guess I'll go first. So, hi everyone. My name is Devansh Saroop, and I was a Tezos India fellow, I guess, in 2020. Yeah, it's I guess 2020. And I'm currently pursuing undergrad in computer science and engineering from SRM University. Coming from a tier 2 college, I've always had this notion, or people in general always have this notion that there's not a lot of opportunities out there. But Tezos India Fellowship per se, or any or working in a field of blockchains, I guess we have come across multiple and many opportunities. So I guess everybody who's who might be watching this or might be thinking about getting into new technologies, emerging technology, I would say hands on, get your hands dirty with the code, and jump on the chance of working with new emerging tech like blockchains, AI, or any form of zero knowledge proofs. So yeah, to answer the question of what we have been doing as of right now, after the fellowship itself, we were approached by a Dubai-based organization or a startup, and they were trying to build a land NFT platform for the UAE region out there. They got sorted with with their government regulations, and they have a green light from the government itself, so they are good to go. The name of the platform is known as Akar Chain, and the parent company is known as Smart Chain. So I've been working with really smart people around me, and all of this has been possible by and because I participated in the Tezos India Fellowship. I guess that's my 2 cents. Arin, you can go
Yeah.
ahead.
So as Devan said, I am also an undergrad from SRM Institute of Science and Technology, Chennai. And so yeah, I also got into blockchain uh, from with Ethereum before Tezos, but Tezos being started Tezos development with Python. Python being a very easy language, so I got very well versed with SmartPy as of right now, and yeah, so it was easy for me. I would say that the learning curve for SmartPy is very less as of right now. Starting to learn JavaScript as a whole, then starting
Mhm.
Solidity, and then moving on to web development for a complete blockchain experience. So yeah, you
Yeah.
can start away with SmartPy and yes, and directly integrate it with the existing architecture. So yeah, it is a good experience to be part with Tezos and learn SmartPy. And so, just yes, as Devan specified, after this fellowship ended within 1 to 2 months, we were approached by an organization, and till
That's that,
since then I
that,
have been working with them. It has been around three
that's
months.
yeah. That's really good. That's really great. Maybe I was going to come to this question, maybe third or fourth question, but as you have mentioned this already, this is very cool, Devansh and Aryan, that after the fellowship you got approached by a company which is working with government regulated securities or real estate NFTs, as you are saying. I'm not fully
Mhm.
aware of the project as of now. But this is really cool, and I know this is a big thing for you guys in early phase of your career. And yeah, I feel happy. Our team feel happy that we were able to contribute to that. So uh, yeah, that's very cool. That was one of our question. This was going to be one of our question, that what opportunities does Tezos India Fellowship brought to you? Which you mentioned that you, after the fellowship, you got approached by a UA based firm, and you are working with some big company with a government regulated project, which is really cool. And I hope all of those who are watching, listening to this, that you don't necessarily have to be very very experienced, or you don't necessarily have to have some certain sort of skill set. All you need to have is a zeal for learning. You should be you, you should be able to learn fast enough. You should be adaptable, and you should be you should be willing to dedicate your time and resources to learn Tezos and the smart pie and all the tooling around it. And the ecosystem is huge, and of the community is very amazing, and it will bring a lot of opportunities to you.
Yeah.
That's very good. The other question was, obviously, Aryan has already answered this
Mhm.
question, but Devansh, I want to know from you, uh, how was it for you? You came
Mhm.
from Ethereum, you started learning Tezos. How was the
Mhm.
learning curve for you?
Yeah, to answer to that question, it was it was not that difficult, if I would say, because coming from blockchain first background, the fundamentals were mostly cleared out in some sense. But yeah, there were certain stark differences in Tezos, and there are certain elements in Tezos which are, I could say, far better than Ethereum itself. Although the ecosystem is still developing, it has a lot of potential. Coming to the specific question of how difficult as it might be, what kind of a time commitment a person might be looking into if he's trying to develop on the inside the ecosystem, I would say the person should go for it. Python being one of the most user friendly languages out there, I guess nobody should have a lot of problem in developing smart contract, because that is where the whole blockchain journey starts. So that might be something to look into. Other than that, it was I would say the best way I could summarize, it was a really fulfilling experience in that sense, because when we talk about blockchains or developing dApps on blockchains, people generally assume that people are talking about Ethereum based platforms. It was good to see that there are other blockchains also inside the market itself, who are trying to like come and changing certain norms, I would say, or certain consolidated positions inside the market, and trying and also bringing new developers and fresh approach to a 5 year or 6 year old concept. So that was something really nice. Yeah.
That's great.
So
Amazing. That's a nice answer.
yeah.
And very good. So uh, now tell me, Devansh and Aryan, you both can go ahead. So uh, you already told me about how Theo's India Fellowship benefited you,
Mm-hmm.
and you did have some experience in Ethereum,
Mm-hmm.
and how did you overcome with the learning curve?
Mm-hmm.
So currently, let's say if you were to give any tips to let's say your juniors, or let's say some
Mm-hmm.
other fellows who are going to be part of
Mm-hmm.
the future programs or future hackathons, what
Mm-hmm.
are some of the ideas that you would want them to build on top of Tejas? So what are some of the hack ideas that you could give them to them?
um Probably something around swaps, I would say. And swaps not specific towards creating a situation where uh, how would I put it? Swaps not specific where people are inherently swapping blockchain specific currencies. For example, Tezos has a specific currency and Ethereum has a specific currency, and one of the fellows inside the fellowship program also created a swap. But creating a ecosystem where there's a lot more interoperability. For example, I can recommend, or I feel that a project that has that can someone if someone can create a project around swapping ERC20 tokens, which are effectively a form of token inside the Ethereum ecosystem, and creating and using the same analogous of ERC20 inside the Tezos ecosystem, that is FA 2.2. I hope I'm saying it right. And creating a swap around it. So what exactly happens in that scenario? The sheer impact or the scale becomes multiplied. For example, the fundamental problem as of right now with blockchains is they are, it's so much like early internet, where there are small networks of computers all clustered around, and someone needs to like find a way to either join these small clusters together, or someone needs to come in and say that this is fundamental protocol, and this is how blockchains need to operate. So I don't think the latter would be feasible inside blockchain, because it, of course, it opposes the fundamental rules of blockchain, that is there cannot be a central party. So, creating a more interoperable scenario where multiple blockchains can interact with one another is something that I feel that would be really great. Another project, another idea, or another way to look into is creating projects around or somewhere, some using or implementing some form of encryption technology, new encryption technology like zero knowledge proofs, because not a lot of people are looking into it as of right now, because not a lot of people understand zero knowledge proof. I fundamentally also are rusty on the rusty on the basics of it. But if someone can like create some projects around zero knowledge proofs, would be great. Like, I guess 5 years down the line, 7 years down the line, we are looking a lot of conventional systems going to a blockchain first background, and it's a simple scenario of supply and demand, where if the and I feel that a demand for a cryptographers or cryptographic secure platform would skyrocket in the next the coming 5 to 7 years. So if someone wants to like play the big game, that might be an interesting area to look into.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, that's a very interesting area. Now that Tezos has settling integration, and
Yeah,
there is an option to do shielded transaction.
yeah,
This is a very underexplored area in Tezos, and I know that this could be a very interesting area for hackers and developers to build some solution on top of it, and it might catch attention of a lot of people in Tezos
yeah,
ecosystem. I'm
yeah.
sure. Arya, do you have any ideas or anything to contribute to for
Yeah,
the
so
session?
for the newcomers for Tezos India Fellowship, second part of it. So I would like to ask, let them build around something around green energy, where we can basically share green energy. So currently, what's happening is that there is a single ownership of energy in every country, and later on gets distributed. So what the blockchain can enable people to do is do something like community solar, that free areas can be divided, and each one of us can sell energy rather than buying it from a single entity depending on the demand. And second thing is something that Ethereum, so there are some projects on Ethereum which can be bought here in Tezos. Is something like a password manager which has zero knowledge proof built on top of it,
Mhm,
or a zero knowledge proof based authentication system, such
mhm.
uh, such as like you do login with Google, you can do login with that a certain platform that has zero knowledge proof, and it just sends a reply back that the password is correct or not, rather than a whole lot of errors. And there might be a possibility of password being cracked during that process. Yeah, something around those. And this implementing zero knowledge proof will also make it fast, it, and equivalent to the current systems in the market. So yeah, it will be in high demand.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Zero knowledge proof powered authentication systems are, sounds really cool, and there would be a really good implementation, I believe. All right. That's very amazing. That's a very nice insights, Devansh and Arya. So now, uh, my question to you is, this is something that I wanted to ask to you.
Mhm.
What are some of the differences you might, you see in Ethereum and Tezos? Like you said, you were
Mhm.
earlier only Ethereum based developer. Now you are a Theos developer, and I hope you are a better Theos developer than a Ethereum developer.
Yeah.
But yeah, please feel free to give us your insight.
Yeah. Again, coming back to the fundamental economic phenomena of supply and demand. If not to talk in technical terms per se, but like getting a bit abstract and giving the bigger picture. any kind of you any kind of an ecosystem that is just developing has a lot of potential in itself. Now obviously people have been like copying certain projects from Ethereum and directly putting it out on Tezos, or Tezos implementation, or a Tezos variation for it is okay in the, it's okay in the beginning, so as the ecosystem can grow itself. But otherwise I feel Tezos ecosystem in itself has a lot of potential, in per se of use of people getting into the nitty gritties of staking itself. For example, because I've been working around trying to set up a staking node itself, I feel that the 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 upside of there's a potential higher upside by being a part of a Tezos, by being a part of a non-Ethereum based blockchain, and specifically Tezos, rather than being a part of any other ecosystem. Now, why I say it? Because the numbers speak for itself. They've been the XTZ price variation as compared to the dollar speaks for itself. The number of projects coming out on Tezos ecosystem, and the number of participation inside the ecosystem, like has been growing for a past like 1 year or so. So I feel any person who's trying to develop something on the Tezos ecosystem has a higher probability of getting to have a bigger impact as compared to any other conventional blockchains out there. Might be Ethereum, might be any conventional or any form of blockchains out there. That is what I feel personally. In terms of technicality, if I would say, of course, if you are a Python first developer, and a lot of people as of right now, not a lot of newcomers who are coming into colleges have had a Python first background. Why? Because the Python is the language that has been taught to them by the Center Board of Secondary Education itself. So they are more comfortable with Python itself, and Python. There are trade-offs, of course, but for a newbie developer who's just stepping into the whole ecosystem, I feel of course you need to have an understanding of conventional compilers, C++. You need to do that, but nobody teaches you, or nobody tells you about what kind of ecosystem or what kind of technologies that are being built on right now. So I guess the language of the future, or the developers of the future, will work on Python and JavaScript, and that is what Tezos offers, right? The fundamental contract or smart contracts that are deployed on chain are written in SmartPy. So a SmartPy variation of it is something that any Python developer can easily adopt to. And the so there so the to summarize the whole argument here is, one, you can scale faster, you have a bit bigger impact. Two, it's easier to implement it. So why to go to a crowded market? You never buy a stock when it goes up, you buy it when it goes down, and you assume, or then you hope that it goes up. So that's the kind of analogy, I guess. That's a parallel that I
Yeah.
could do.
Well, that's very well articulated, Devansh, and I believe in what you said, and that's the right analogy. Aryan, you wanna say contribute or add to
Yeah,
what
as
Devansh said?
Devansh said, I would agree with him that currently, after Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tezos will be the next big thing, because currently the prices are rising, and currently Tezos prices in general are within the reach of normal human beings or normal publics, that they can maybe afford $4, $5 for shaking Tezos. So in the same way, that's the same way the government projects are moving towards Tezos, like we got one, because uh, because of this reasonable cost, the operational cost of these projects will be very low as compared to Ethereum for the time being. And yeah, so Tezos will be the next big thing in the market
Yeah,
after Ethereum.
amazing, amazing. Even though we as a technologist, all of us, we are not too concerned about price, but your points does make sense, Aryan. And
Yeah,
I also believe, all of us here, Sneha, that we all believe Tezos is the, next big thing. And that's why, we are here. And we are very happy to have you guys in this interview. And also very happy and glad that you were, in the first batch of our Tezos India fellows. And now all of you fellows are doing wonderful things, in your professional career. All of you are integrated into Tezos ecosystem for a long haul. Some of you are building your own Tezos projects. Some of you are, contributing to the Tezos ecosystem in a different way by joining some team who is building tools and applications on top of Tezos. or by, and in your case, it is even excited, even it is even exciting that you are contributing to a Tezos project, which is government regulated, being built by some firm in UAE, and there's a lot of exciting things happening in the Tezos ecosystem overall. And nice to hear about what you guys have been up to. What have you guys built so far after the fellowship? And we are gonna stay in touch with all of you always, as first batch of our Theos India Fellowship. And I hope you guys, reach greater milestones in your professional career. You keep contributing to the Tezos, and I wish you guys all the best for your future and for your endeavors. And we'll keep connecting more, whenever we keep doing such activities or hackathons or events like this. Thanks a lot again, guys, for joining me, and I wish you all the best. Bye.
Bye.